Palestine is more than what we've been seeing just on the news. It is a beautiful culture with an incredibly diverse cuisine. So today I have teamed up with Asma, Qutiaba, and Asma to teach us more about what this cuisine is made up of. The cultural erasure that's happening in Palestine right now can be fought off in a lot of ways, but one of them is through talking about the culture and, of course, talking about the food.
Hi Beryl, my name is Asma. I come from Palestine, from Gaza, and I'm currently living in Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates.
Hello everyone, my name is Qutiaba. I am Palestinian.
Hi Beryl, my name is Asma. I'm Palestinian and I currently live in Ramallah in the West Bank.
Today, one of the best things you can do for Palestine really is to talk about Palestinian culture and to send lots of love to the people of Palestine. One of the best ways to talk about Palestinian culture is really to just bring lots of food into the picture.
I believe food is a powerful way to maintain and celebrate our culture.
Sharing Palestinian recipes and raising awareness about the Palestinian culture is very important, mainly during these challenging times. It's a way of maintaining our sense of continuity and it's a form of resistance.
I think you should definitely start your meal with Za'atar Zait. Za'atar Zait is the essence of any Palestinian meal. It's basically served dip style, and you have to roll up your bread like a cigarette and dip it in lots and lots of olive oil and then dip it in za'atar and just enjoy the magic.
So we're starting with za'atar and olive oil. Palestine is known for its amazing olive oil. Asma said that I need to roll up my bread. So I'm breaking it up a little bit here. Rolling it up. I'm gonna dip it in the olive oil and then dip it in the za'atar. So I have my little za'atar popsicle. Za'atar is amazing. Za'atar is definitely not something that is only limited to Palestine. You will find it all across the Levant. However, the Palestinian olive oil, I think, is what makes this dish really special. If you've never had za'atar before, it is salty and savory. There are tons of dried herbs in there. It is a flavor all of its own and something that lightens and brightens anything that it touches.
You must have Salata Tahina. If you see that on a table, you know you're in a Palestinian family home. This is just the most basic salad that we have even for breakfast or with our lunch or with our dinner. And it's usually made out of the harvest of our garden with like this delicious tahina sauce. I personally like to tear up some Arabic bread and throw it in there as well. It's super, super delicious. This salad is really one of the trademarks of a Palestinian table, so I would love if you can try it.
We have our salad with the tahini dressing, which smells really good. Asma told me to break off some pieces of bread and put it in there, so I will do as she says. Bread in the salad. It's full of cucumbers and tomatoes and fresh herbs. That is fresh. I love the flavor of tahini. I feel like it reminds me a little bit of like peanut butter for some reason. It's got that sesame seed flavor, which to me is slightly reminiscent of a peanut flavor, I guess. The cucumbers and tomatoes are super crunchy and the sauce is really thin, so it's definitely a salad, but that dressing on top of it has tons of flavor on its own. The bread soaks it up, so Asma, that was a really good call. I love it with the bread. So far between these two dishes, everything feels vibrant and full of flavor. No bland dishes around here.
From the appetizers, I chose for you to try Wara Dawali. Wara Dawali is grape leaves filled with spiced rice. Some people also add minced meat. And then after each leaf is rolled, it all gets cooked in one pot, resulting in a very delicious, hearty, juicy, lemony dish. The way to eat dawali can be with your hands, mainly when it's cold, or if it's made as a main dish and it's warm, you can just have it with a fork. Making this food is very time consuming, so a lot of people make it a sort of like social activity where they gather in order to make this dish together, since it's just easier.
I have made grape leaves on the channel before and Asma is right. It is time consuming, but at the end of the day, it is worth it because they are delicious. However, to be honest, like buying grape leaves pre-made, they're also still pretty good. I was sent this sauce and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm wondering if it wouldn't be good to dip into the It's garlic yogurt. Yum. I'll try it on its own first. This one's a vegetarian one. It's stuffed with rice. The leaves are super tender. I'm going for a little bit of a... It's good with the garlic yogurt. These are cold, so I can definitely eat them with my hands. Hot ones are, honestly, sometimes I think, a little bit superior. The heat is so good, but with a cold one, I feel like you can just knock them back. It has a bit of a mild flavor, but the taste of a grape leaf is a little bit sour, and so combined, it's 10 out of 10.
The fourth dish I recommend is مسخن,
which translates to heated, and that refers to heating the bread, which is flat bread.
It's the quintessential Palestinian dish. It mixes taboon bread, which is a type of thick bread, with sauteed onions, sumac, or sumaq in Arabic. Sumac is a very tangy, acidic spice. It's very specific to Levantine cuisine and Palestinian cuisine.
And then you have all of this topped with like the roasted chicken with more sumac and pine nuts. You can eat مسخن with your hands, and you need to make sure that in every bite you have all of the ingredients. So you have part of the bread, you have the onions, and you have chicken. That is just how it's bestly enjoyed. This dish is a celebration of the Palestinian cuisine because it was usually made during the harvest season. This dish is very comforting. It reflects the values of Palestinians, their dedication, their love for the land, and enjoying the final products of their hard work.
Oh my God, this plate is so heavy. I have an entire half a chicken on this plate. I have actually made this dish on the channel before. I'll show you a little clip of mine, and we'll show you a little clip of theirs. I think I did a pretty good job, to be honest. I'm gonna be eating this bad boy with my hands. Ooh, the chicken is very soft. That came right off the bone. They sent some yogurt with this, and I feel like some yogurt would be good. I guess I'll try it without it first. Not the smoothest bite. There's sumac on that chicken, and sumac is so good. So I'm guessing the vibe here is to tear off the bread, get some pine nuts, get some onions. Oh my God. Those onions are so soft. It's like they're caramelized, but they're actually not caramelized. They are shockingly full of flavor. There's that sweetness to them, but then there's the sumac, which makes them like sumac-y. Ooh, that's a terrible description for you all. Sumac does have its own distinct flavor, which I am not skilled enough to describe. I always struggle in describing herbs and spices. I'm gonna try it with a little bit of this yogurt because I feel like they sent it to me for a reason. And yogurt would be good with this. God, why can't I open this yogurt? This yogurt has, it looks like mint and cucumbers. It has mint and cucumbers in it. I'm just gonna like put a little bit right there. Tear off a little, oh, there's tomatoes over here. And I'm gonna tear some chicken. Okay, I'm making a complete bite. This is my inner thought process. The yogurt was good. If I didn't edit the videos like this, it would just be mostly me chewing for a really long time. You should be thankful for the editor. Thanks, Natalie. The chicken has this really crispy exterior, but then it's super soft and moist on the inside. Also, the pine nuts on this are huge. I'm used to seeing pine nuts as really small. These are pine nuts. They're definitely not pine nuts. For a second, I was like, maybe they're almonds. Maybe this restaurant went rogue, but no, they're just big pine nuts. I'm getting one more bite of these onions because they're my favorite.
And of course, you cannot have a Palestinian meal without having a maklouba. Maklouba is like this handcrafted piece of art.
Maklouba translates to upside down, and it's just because of how the food is flipped at the end.
Maklouba is the must-have dish of Palestinian cuisine.
It is basically a layered dish with lots of different types of vegetables,
which is usually potatoes, aubergine, and cauliflower, and then layering it in a big pot with chicken, rice, and then in the end it all gets flipped over, and hence the name Maklouba.
I love a Maklouba, a very important part of the Palestinian culture and very important part of our celebrations.
If you ask many people in Palestine, they would almost always say their favorite dish is Maklouba.
I have tried to make a dish like this before from Iran, where you make everything upside down and then you flip it. Nope. I failed. The dish tasted good, but I did not flip it well. This one obviously came pre-flipped and mixed together, so I don't know how they did, but I'm assuming they flipped it well. I'm gonna use my yogurt spoon here. I want some of this potato, because this potato looks really flippin' good. There is so much flavor in this rice. This is maybe some of the best tasting rice I've ever had. And it's loose. For the life of me, I cannot make loose rice. Every time I eat it, I'm so jealous that the chef knows how to do it. There is also roasted cauliflower in this. It's so soft. It is spiced so well. None of this food is spicy by any sense of the word, but it is all spiced really, really beautifully. Like, bland is not in the vocabulary of Palestinian cuisine. Good chicken. Chicken and rice is a classic combo. We just did a whole chicken and rice episode. If you're interested, I will link it in the description. I actually like this chicken a little bit more. It's skinless, and even though crunchy skin is really good, skinless chicken, especially when it's chicken thighs, I just think like it's so juicy and like so easy to eat. I'll just like down a thigh. Anyway. Oh, there's eggplant. Eggplant. I love all the different vegetables in this. This is a beautiful dish. I would love to see this dish being turned upside down. I think that would just be such an amazing experience, but you know, when you order delivery, you're not getting that kind of experience. But maybe if you go to a restaurant, you can ask to go into the kitchen and see them do it.
And for dessert, I chose Kanafa for you. I was impressed by the menu from this restaurant as they feature imported Akawi cheese. Akawi cheese is a squeezy type of cheese made usually in Nablus in the West Bank. Sweets are made from this cheese. This usually features like a semolina type dough, which is fine, which is put first into the plate, then it gets topped with the cheese. So only the dough sees the heat from the pan. Then it's drenched in syrup. It's a quintessential Palestinian sweet.
Kanafa holds a special place in my heart. This is a dish that you can also definitely find around the Levant. I had this in Syria. This one looks like the most beautiful bird's nest. The pistachios are so vibrant and beautiful. The vermicelli, I love that it's soaked in syrup. I love a lot of things about it. When you get it fresh, the cheese is stretchy. This one obviously is not probably gonna have stretchy cheese because it was delivered, but you never know. No, cheese is not stretchy, but like, look at this. This is just like a slice of cheese with some vermicelli on top. It's like heaven, if heaven was a piece of cheese with vermicelli on top. The syrup that's soaked on top of it is definitely not too sweet, and the pistachios add a really nice crunch because the cheese is soft. The vermicelli noodles, I think they're fried because they're very crunchy. And I just love all the different textures that go on with this. The cheese is actually really delicate. It's not a cheesy cheese, it's more like a squeaky cheese, which has that more balanced and soft flavor. So it goes really well with a sweet syrup. When I think about cheese desserts, I'm very limited in what I think about, like cheesecake, cannolis. There's gotta be others out there, let me know in the comments. But this cheese dessert is high up there. I think it's one of the better ones, better than a cannoli, and I love a cannoli, but I love this one more. I'm just gonna have one more cheeky little bite of this, even though I've had my fair share of food already. Aces. I hope you all learned something new about Palestine, aside from what we see in the news, and more about their beautiful cuisine. All of the dishes that I ordered are linked in the description, as well as everything else that everybody recommended. If there is a Palestinian restaurant nearby where you live, I would highly recommend you checking it out and getting these dishes fresh, because fresh is always best. And now I'm going to go digest.